Hello everyone, my name is Shahzad Davar. My registration number is 23035503. Today, our topic of discussion is what is the future of EVs now that Trump has become the president again. I assume the UK government has commissioned you to write a report advising them on a way forward, given the need to increase the use of EVs across a wide range of sectors. So we'll start with executive summary. Now that Trump has returned, so our focus is going to be the UK's EV market because it's going to be affecting UK EV market as well because after China, USA, Tesla is the largest manufacturer in the world. So this presentation is for the UK government on how to enhance EV take-up in the face of Trump comeback. This presentation has identified major risks from possible US policy changes and their effect on international EV markets. And to set up the proposals of the innovation, infrastructure, and strategic partnerships to ensure the EV transition. So the introduction will be this presentation aims to provide advice on increasing the adoption of EVs in the wake of Trump comeback. Because Trump has come back, he's going to change different several policies according to the EVs because he's a business-minded person. So there are some reports about like he being using the fossil fuels and that type of stuff. So it's going to be changing now. It indicates how Trump's policy change can be disempowering the global EV movement, affecting UK climate targets because UK is a market leader who has vowed for climate changes, and there are several NGOs. It's going to be affecting UK as well. Geopolitical effects, supply chain disruption, sector analysis, and strategic policy advice are some of the topics included in the PPT. First of all, we'll have a look at the UK EV goals. According to several data that I have found, UK is committed to net zero emission by 2050 and to banning petrol and diesel vehicles by 2035. After 2035, UK is not gonna let any company inside the UK manufacture any type of petrol or diesel vehicle. So, electric vehicle sales are although on the rise, but the difficulties are like in the form of high prices because of the materials used in the lithium-ion batteries or the new technology, a lack of charging points as well, and the anxiety around running out of the charge because as for petrol or diesel, we can refuel it at any single point, but as for charging, we need to wait for several hours or several minutes to charge our EV. So this in this context, the backdrop of examining ways to affecting lead EV innovation, because if people are not more inclined toward EV buying EVs, it's going to be affecting the global sales, the UK EV sales. So that is not what the companies and the UK government wants. So let's have a look at the Trump's return and its effect on the UK EV market. Trump's return comes with a signal of probable reversal of the U.S. climate policies because USA is one of the largest economies, so it's going to be affecting it's going to affecting the global climate policies as well, and the EV subsidies. His policies were like traditionally pro fossil fuel, not so much about the green technology because he's a business-minded person and USA holds one of the largest oil reserves as well. This change is likely to hinder global. This is This change is to hinder global EV movement, to disrupt foreign trade and investments, and be a source of uncertainty for the international markets. Although BYD is leading the market, but as Tesla is the market leader, so at some point market leader as well, so it's going to be affecting that as well. So the UK transition towards sustainable mobility exceedingly difficult. So we'll have a look at geopolitical ripple effect as well. As for Trump, policy changes have ripple effect towards worldwide. Global EV markets depend on common standards and collaborations are now at risk as trade disruption arises. Diminished US influence can dilute environmental standards, affecting supply chain and investor confidence as well. Therefore, UK needs to reassess alliance and diversify sources to maintain EV market stability. Now, my next colleague will come and have a look at the UK strategic positions. Thank you.
Thank you, Shazad. My name is Mohammad Wasim, and my student ID is 2335792. And I will begin with UK's strategy position in this scenario. The UK holds a privileged strategic role as a global zero net leader with settled commitments, even with the post-Brexit trade disruption. Uh, Indigenous manufacturing capabilities in the automotive industry confirm a competitive advantage. A nation needs to deploy these capabilities, invest in uh, research and development, and construct strong supply chains to fight against these policies globally. And the next slide is about the next slide, please. Yeah, about politics and economics. In the political context, some policies create uncertainty that can hamper global cooperation regarding EV standards. Economical inflation and elevated production costs create affordability challenges. UK will need to strengthen incentives and incentives the domestic manufacturing to counter such risk. Such analysis provides a basis for un, uh, announced policy intervention for sustainable marketing expansions, as well as on the next slide, passive analysis of social, technological, and legal environmental. Social trends indicate growth, public pressure for cleaner, healthier city centers. Technological breakthrough in battery and EV systems propel progress. Legally strong emission rules force strict enforcement environmentally, uh, minimizing the carbon footprints is essential. All these forces together influence policy and consumer uh, attitude, propelling the UK towards faster EV uptake across the world. On the next slide, we have global supply chain challenges in this EV industry. World supply chain for EV parts rely on rare earth semiconductors and batteries. Geopolitical tension and changing US policies raises threats of shortages and price struggle. To resist these threats, the UK has to diversify its sources of import and building domestic manufacturing so that there is a stable and affordable supply chain for key parts. In the last, uh, there is a SWOT analysis of the UK EV market. The UK EV market exhibits strengths including robust government policies and a skilled workforce, gaps in charging infrastructure, and high upfront costs represent the weaknesses, and opportunities are driven by increasing the consumer demand and potential for exports. Uh, with threats and posed by supply chain disruption and shifts in global policies, this SWOT proves valuable in guiding our strategy advices according to uh, the scenario. With that, I would like to turn the presentation over to my next group member.
Thank you, Wasim. My name is Bushra Arshad, and my student ID is 23025903. And in this presentation, I will talk about the key stakeholders and their interest. The key stakeholders are government, industry, customers, NGOs, and media. The UK government, which is charged with climate targets and infrastructure, attaining net zero emissions and maintaining economic growth. Industry actors like automakers and energy companies pushing the boundaries of innovation, like factory manufacturers, tech firms, and utility companies pursuing profit and creativity. And consumers access to affordable and sustainable mobility. And NGOs and medias promoting environmental responsibility. Each has a leading role in influencing and being influenced by EV policy, creating a complex system that defines market conditions. In the next slide, uh, I will talk about the sectors that impact public transport and mobility. Public transport is rapidly being electrified, with London bringing in electric taxis and buses. The hindrances are the high cost of conversion and infrastructural deficiencies. Incentives from the government and focused funding can speed up the upgrading of fleets, curbing urban congestion and pollution. This sector's overhaul is key to sustainable, efficient urban transport, which has a public health benefit. So, in the next slide is sectors impacting logistics and cargoes. The logistic industry experience slow EV, they experience delay in the use of EVs by battery constraints and high capital expenses. Large cargo operators are impacted by high initial expenses and restricted range. Like large vehicles need other alternatives such as hydrogen or hybrid vehicles. Greater government incentives, focused R&D, and infrastructure investments can revolutionize freight operators, considerably lowering emission and increasing efficiency in long-haul and last-mile delivery network considerably. Next, sectors that impact local and government councils, like local government leads EV integration through municipal fleets. Local councils play a central role in EV integration, undertaking charging stations initiatives and renewing municipal fleets. Excluded rural communities deal with infrastructural gaps. Rural regions are, however, exposed to charging deserts due to infrastructural deficiencies. Support from the central government can guarantee equal distribution of resources. Council collaboration could simply funding and local planning for end-to-end EV network. Like central assistance and inter-council coordination can bridge this gap, facilitating fair EV access and encouraging sustainable mobility in both urban and rural regions. And in the last, I will talk about the future scenario, the best case. Its limited US roll back as the world EV trend keeps rolling. In ideal circumstances, global EV momentum continues unabated even in the face of US policy changes. The UK secures diverse, stable supply chain and enhanced domestic production. The UK takes advantage of diversified supply chains, healthy domestic productions, and strong international partnership to drive down cost. Consumers' prices decline when innovation increase in scale, driving EV adoption across industries. And global partnership underpin a successful, resilient UK EV market by supporting global green leadership. Consumers take up surges while infrastructure grows, guaranteeing market stability. And this variant underpins the UK high likelihood of becoming an EV leader. And next, I would like to call my other group member to continue the worst case future scenario. Thank you.
Um, Thank you, Bushra. Hi, my name is Renu Brevi, and my student ID is 23025243. Here I would like to talk about our worst case future scenario. We anticipate a significant policy withdrawals from the US under protection Trump administration. These geopolitical shifts could severely disrupt the global supply chains, especially those linked to electric vehicle components. The ripple effect of this disruption would result in higher EV manufacturing costs globally, including in the UK. As a consequence, consumer adoption of electric vehicles would slow down considerably. This would not only stall the pace of EV infrastructure investments like charging networks, but also increase market volatility, creating uncertainty for business and investors alike. The challenges for the UK in the situation is quickly adapt. It would require fast, coordinated policy responses and a sharp increase in domestic investment to protect our EV industry and maintain progress toward our climate and industry goals. The next slide is strategic recommendation. To tackle these challenges proactively, we propose a set of strategic recommendations focused on strengthening the UK sector from the inside out. At the core of these recommendations is the development of a robust domestic manufacturing base. This includes expanding battery production capacity and reinforcing key supply chains to reduce our dependence on international markets. We also suggest significantly scaling up our EV charging infrastructure to meet the growing needs of both urban and rural areas. Consumer incentives such as tax rebates or purchase subsidies should be reduced or enhanced to drive uptake and support the transition. These measures must be supported by focused R&D efforts and effective public-private partnerships, which will collectively help to de-risk our position in an unpredictable global market while enabling long-term sustainability growth for the UK's EV industry. The next slide is innovation and collaboration opportunities. Looking ahead, innovation and collaboration will be the twin engine driving the next phase of electric vehicle development in the UK. Truly accelerate progress, we must deepen partnership with global EV leaders and strengthen the ties between universities and industry. By doing so, we can fast track advancement in critical technologies, pa- particularly in battery innovation and clean mobility solutions. We should also create an ecosystem that supports startups working EV tech, offering them offering them the resource to thrive and innovate. Moreover, artificial intelligence can be a game changer, helping to optimize supply chains, integrate EV manufacturing, and manage energy demands. Through a collaborative and forward-looking approach, the UK can not only overcome existing challenges but also establishing itself as a global pioneer in electric vehicle innovation. The next slide is policy action plan. To bring all of this together, we propose a comprehensive and cohesive policy action plan. At the heart of this plan is the creation of an EU transition task force. This task force would be responsible for integrating all national innovatives, aligning sector-specific strategies, and managing funding mechanisms, including the issuance of green bonds of finance key projects. Nationwide public awareness campaign would also play a crucial role, educating consumers on the benefits of EVs and guiding them through the transition. This campaign should be supported by clear and targeted financial incentives aimed at accelerating infrastructure deployment and creating market stability across all sectors in EV landscape. This holistic approach ensures that policy is not just a receive but strategically aligned with the long-term industrial and environmental goals. The last slide is conclusion. To conclude, while the possibility of Trump's policy reversal present considerable challenges for the global EV sector, the UK is uniquely positioned to turn this crisis into opportunity. By focusing on local manufacturing, investing in technological innovation, and enacting strong and supportive policies, we can transform the headwinds into momentum. The result will be the resilient and competitive e-sector that drives economic growth, reduces emissions, and reinforces the UK global leadership in the clean mobility transition. The future of electric vehicles in the UK is still within our grasp. It's up to us to act boldly and collaboratively to CC. Finally, the next slides are references. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.